Okay, today is July 7th, and I'm here, naturally, following up with the Department of Emergency Management, the department that I sunshine, and let me read you the immediate disclosure request that I sunshined them for. And as you've looked in the past, when I came and spoke with Francis Zamora, they were very, very, very interested in passing on their ineptness and non-performance to the police department for policies and everything else as to the sole jurisdiction, everything that I've been fed by the sheriff, by the police department in regard to me calling for civil standby at the Department of Public Health. Okay, so let me go ahead and read this to you. The immediate disclosure request. On 2/18/15, I went to 101 Grove to the San Francisco Department of Public Health to follow up on the denial of my health care. I called non-emergency 553-0123 to send out an SFPD officer for civil standby to enter 101 Grove. After the third call for civil standby and no response, I called and spoke with the JoAnn Donahue, Supervisor at Emergency Services, who informed me that 101 Grove and other locations were sole jurisdiction of the Sheriff's Office and no SFPD civil standby would be provided. Upon request in records, I found that I'd also been labeled Code 800 by the Sheriff's officers during my multiple calls to San Francisco Emergency Services seeking civil standby. When again I returned on 2/24 seeking services and an explanation at San Francisco Department of Public Health, 101 Grove, I was falsely arrested, taken to jail, cavity searched, denied due process to see a judge, released after 24 hours and told that I was innocent, not explained as to why I was arrested, if innocent, upon my asking. These incidents were allowed to occur since I was not provided with civil standby with a corrupt and unaccountable thwarting process and deliberate slander placed. Therefore, please provide from each of the departments, San Francisco Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, the Department of Emergency Management Services, and the San Francisco Department of Public Health, all policies and corresponding legal statutes regarding, number one, sole jurisdiction by the Sheriff's Office at 101 Grove, 25 Van Ness, San Francisco General, 1380 Howard, etc., as told by San Francisco Emergency, and number two, what Code 800 means, implies, definition, and the policies regarding its usage by the officers. Are the officers trained, qualified, medically to recognize such an allegation, or are they just acting on directions from DPH, and what the consequence for incorrect usage? So, when I sent that off, and then I followed up here, you notice that, like I said, Francis Zamora was trying to get me to say, oh, it was the police policy. Well, I've received my response from the police. Dear Mr. Garza, the San Francisco Police Department received your immediate disclosure request. In response to all policies and corresponding legal statutes regarding sole jurisdiction, etc., etc., I'm sorry, let me read this. Regarding sole jurisdiction by the Sheriff's Office at 101 Grove, 25 Van Ness, San Francisco General, 1380 Howard, is told by San Francisco Emergency, please be advised that after a thorough and diligent search, no responsive records were located by the San Francisco Police Department. There is no such policy. It is all a lie, but when, the complicit players can all line up to deny you and, of course, send you to multiple places that produce no results, oh, are you learning the games? Continue to watch the inhumanity. The Sheriff's Department, a separate agency of the City and County of San Francisco, is custodian of records for documents pertaining to its policies and their law enforcement agreements. In other words, the MOU, where, the Department of Public Health, I believe, pays $12 million, $1 million every month for the rent-a-cops, the sheriffs, to evade people's rights. Yes. We will follow up on that. Please contact the Sheriff's Department Civil Division, room 456, for their responsive records. Let the games continue. Did you not see me try to follow up with Mr. Nicco in response to the MOU? That's okay. We'll just continue. With regard to your request for number two, what Code 800 means, implies, definitions, and the policies regarding its usage by officers, please be advised that SFPD has a Radio Code 800. Radio Code 800 is for a mentally disturbed patient. Poisoning the well? Slander? Mentally disturbed when he tells the truth and points out the law-breaking activity by the people who are supposed to be there and responsible for his care, the authorities? Yeah, keep dreaming, folks. As to the policies for its usage by officers, no responsive records were located by the SFPD. Don't you just love it? With respect to your request, are the officers trained, qualified medically to recognize such an allegation, or are they just acting on directions from DPH and the consequence for incorrect uses? Please be advised that no responsive records were located by the San Francisco Police Department. You may request this responsive information from the Sheriff's Department. My, have I not? Have I not tried to follow up? Interesting. Now, you've got to realize that, my arrest record for, the illegal arrest on 224, says that there's no charges because they were dropped in the interest of justice. That is a very powerful phrase, the interest of justice. Well, let's continue with that premise, the interest of justice. So I am here to follow up with Vivian Santos, who you saw last time, who told me that they're not here for the citizens, and, I told her to contact me that they had all the email stuff and to go forward. Well, do you believe I've been contacted? Maybe in a humane world. Certainly not here. But keep drinking the Kool-Aid, folks.